All right, hey everybody, J-Man here with Steve and Sean, and as you know, because it's October, we're going through some of the horror franchises every Friday. We've done Child's Play, and we've done Phantasm. Now we're not going to go through every movie, especially not for today's pick. So we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about our favorite, our least favorite, and one that we think is kind of underrated. Today is Friday the 13th. You can see my poster in the back. Friday the 13th is my favorite series. I love it. I'm not bringing all my Jason stuff for this because I have endless Jason stuff. It's impossible to tell. Like I can't bring it all out. And we're definitely not going to go through every movie, but I want to set a couple of ground rules. We're going to include obviously the first 8 Paramount movies. We're going to include Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. We'll include the remake as well. It's in Friday the 13th realm.
It's in the franchise, yeah.
It's in the franchise. Freddy versus Jason, I think it's a non-issue. Like, it's not going to be our best, our worst, or most underrated anyway. So I'm thinking it's more of a Freddy story, really. Mm-hmm. If we have to include it in one person's thing, I'm going to say let's include it with the nightmares, and maybe not so much with Jason. Are we good with that?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the 10 Jasons and the remake are included. Okay, so we'll start with underrated. So who do we start? Oh, Steve, you can start. What do you think is the most underrated of the Fridays?
So my original answer was going to be Jason Goes to Hell.
Yep.
Because whoever created the Creighton Duke character should have been like awarded or something. There should be an award for that, right? But when I read Crystal Lake, or when I watched Crystal Lake Memories, I had to change my answer to Jason X because they were really begging on that movie. And I have no idea why. First of all, Uber Jason, incredible design, really awesome. Well realized. I really like the scene where they sort of send him back into virtual reality to the camp, and you have the 2 little campers, and they're like, you want to drink? You want to smoke some pot or premarital sex? And he just like the next shot is like him like smashing one with the other in the TV. That is a brilliant scene. I love the android who goes against him. I think that was a really cool fight.
Yep.
She beats him. She beats original Jason.
Yeah.
I really actually just enjoy the fact that Jason is still around. Everyone like from all the movies is probably dead by now in the future, and he's still alive. And,
that's right.
And they're actually like they got him on ice, and it's David Cronenberg who controls his fate.
Yes.
People always say when a series goes into space, it jumps the shark.
Right.
I don't agree. In this case especially, I think that it was a lot of fun. I liked the new direction they took it, and I don't think it was trying to be anything other than what it was. I think they knew they were going into space, and I knew people would be like, oh God, they're going into space, but they made a really fun, interesting movie. There's some great lines in there like, it's okay, guys, he was just, looking for his machete or whatever.
That was great. All right, yeah, Jason X. Okay, so we'll get to. I love Jason X, but anyways, okay, Sean, what do you think? Underrated.
I was gonna say Jason Goes to Hell, but I guess that's the popular answer. I mean, look, like Creighton Duke, okay, fine, right? But beyond that, some of the best kills of any franchise are in that thing. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like the one girl that gets cut in half. Like I remember reading about it in Cinescape before the movie came out, and they showed everything. They even showed a picture of that girl getting sliced in half with the boobs. I don't know how they could get away with that in Cinescape, but yeah, that's awesome. And it's the first one to really try and take things to another direction, like before Jason X, right? Like this is a very different Jason. And I know a lot of people don't like that because you only see Jason in the very beginning and the very end. And for most of it, he's an entity like jumping bodies and stuff. Before it was popular, of course, it's the movie that tied into other franchises, not just Nightmare on Elm Street, but also the Evil Dead movies, because I mean, they couldn't say it out loud, but you see the Necronomicon, right?
Yep.
And as the director puts it, he's, Jason's a Deadite. That's, that's his contribution. I'm okay with that. I mean, from 6 onward, you have to try and explain him somehow. I know that he's supposed to be a kid with a bunch of stuff around. I don't know, whatever. We'll get to that, but but yeah, I really like 9. I know that's not one of the most popular. There are a lot of other movies that are underrated. I love them all. But that's just, I mean, there's a lot of other picks, but I guess 9's my pick.
So I love all of the movies for different reasons. Jason Goes to Hell I really wanted to see in the theater. I begged my mom to take me. She didn't take me. The first one I saw was Jason X. So Jason X was the first one I saw in the theater. So I love Jason X. I think Jason looks great. I like part 9 because of the kills. You're right. Some of the best kills of the series, some of the best kills in horror movies, general. Just like that back thing where he knocks that woman's mouth.
The woman's face.
Yeah. Great kills. Creighton Duke is number 2 next to Tommy Jarvis. Or maybe
compound is awesome. They only show it in a couple shots, but he has this mega compound with fences.
Oh, he's great. It's great. Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah.
All right. So for me, the most underrated, and it's the first one I saw, and you guys are probably going to know the answer, which is part 5, A New Beginning. First of all, I love Roy Burns. He does more damage than Jason does, except for Jason X and this movie. He is so angry over his son getting killed. Oh my God. And okay, so I didn't know because it was the first one I saw, I didn't know that wasn't Jason. I just, and then in the next one, he's a zombie. So I thought, well, yeah, he died in part 5. So now he's a zombie. And they even said it at the end, he's his son. And I was like, okay, I guess he gets revenge for his son. I didn't get it. I was 11 years old when I watched that. Plus the girl laying down with her boobs is oh my God, this is 11-year-old Jason. I'm Jason. My name's Jason. Firstly, my name is Jason. So that's great. And I'm watching this. I'm like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. There's tons of nudity and lots of violence. I'm like, this is what movies are about.
Yeah.
Kids are watching E.T. and be like, oh, that was a great movie. I'm like, yeah, right. Have you seen Friday the 13th, part 5? So I love it. A lot of great kills. It's been edited, but it's a schlock fest, and I love it. Another underrated one I won't talk about was part 2. I love Friday the 13th, part 2. I think it's genius. But anyways, my pick is part 5 because everyone pisses on it because it's not the real Jason, but who cares? The soundtrack is killer. It's on iTunes. I have it on iTunes. It's amazing. The music is awesome in all the series. Tommy Jarvis beating that guy up. Tommy Jarvis is the best. He's so angry. He just wants to kill everybody. He's great. He becomes crazy at the end. That's cool. So part 5 for me. Okay. So let's go with, are we going to go with the best or no, we'll go with the best, right? Is that what we do normally? I can't remember.
The worst and then the best, right?
Okay, so the worst. All right, Steve, what's the weakest one?
It's got to be Jason Takes Manhattan, part 8. It takes forever to get to New York. They're on that cruise ship I timed it because we all got the special edition Shout Factory Blu-ray set, I assume.
We did. We all got that. Yay.
I actually put in Jason. I wanted the time when they actually get to Manhattan. Yeah. It takes an hour to get to New York. It gets an hour. It's called Jason Takes Manhattan, not Jason Takes the Cruise Ship. Okay. It takes way too long to get there. The characters, I liked the one guy who wanted to box Jason just because that's ludicrous. That is both the most original and the worst approach to fighting Jason I've ever seen. I found he didn't do enough in New York, probably because he didn't have the budget. It just didn't feel very much like Jason took New York. Yeah. It felt like Jason took Vancouver after getting off a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And I found the ending ridiculous. He turns back into a kid. I'm like, so nuclear waste or whatever turns you into a child. Okay. I'll give him points for originality because I've never made that connection. Yeah. But it's also the least believable death for Jason I think we've ever had. I mean, he gets cut in the face, he gets drowned, he gets, electrocuted, all the stuff that, all the cliches. But in this one, let's just throw nuclear waste at him and he'll devolve into a child.
Yeah, that was weird. All right, Sean, worst, weakest?
My pick was 8 as well. So I love 8. I mean, my problem with it was it's probably the not worst. It's just the most disappointing. Even more than 9. I mean, 9, yes, you don't see a lot of Jason, but you see a lot of like beats, man, and like and 9 is very urgent. Like it's like a Terminator movie, and I think they say that in the special features. But 8 is like, yes, cool stuff happens. Cool stuff will happen in any Friday the 13th movie, like that boxing thing. But it's just like, yeah, it takes them forever to get there. And if you're gonna call your movie Jason Takes Manhattan, first of all, don't name your movie after a Muppet movie. Rule number 1, if you're making a horror movie, never, like, what's the next one? The Great Jason Caper. And also, like, if you're gonna do it, show it. He's in Times Square for like 1 minute, and like some guys are like, "Hey man," and he turns around. I can't remember what happens, but like, the ending sort of tries to explain part 1 and 2, that the kid that you see in part 1, and they're really calling back, but the kid that you see in part 1 was real, and then he grows up to be a man in part 2, even though I think it takes place 2 years after part 1 or something like that. And so they're like, he's really a kid with all this stuff on him, and they're really stretching. It's like, you know what? We bought it for 7 movies. You don't have to explain it. Just come up with another way to kill him. It's interesting, I guess, but it's odd. I mean, I think they call back to that too in Freddy versus Jason, that he's really a kid inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at least they honored the history in that movie. But like, yeah, I just found it's like, I can still watch it. It's just disappointing. I do like, is that the one with the guy who wants to make movies, and he's like, at one point he's like, space ape. is that the one? I can't remember.
There's a guy that films movies, and then he films the girl with the teacher.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And the one girl has like stuff drawn all over her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How come you remember?
I guess I remember that, but yeah.
John always remembers the nudie parts. Okay, so I narrowed it down to 3 for my least.
Yeah.
8. The ending is horse shit. I hate that ending of part 8. If the movie was called Friday the 13th Part 8 and nothing else, and then the Manhattan thing was just like a thing that you got as a bonus at the end.
Icing on the cake, yeah.
That's a different movie now. When you say Jason Takes Manhattan, he's cutting through the I Love New York, the I Heart New York mega, symbol. And it's like, wow. And you see him and, oh, he's going to be in Times Square. And then that doesn't happen for a long time. That's very disappointing. Jason looks great in it. I like this oily look. He looks very tough. Kane Hodder's like in the role. The deaths are very weak because by this point in time, the series has been just cut to shit. You can't do anything. Basically that could air on TV right now with kids watching it pretty much, except for the sex. There's not even nudity in it at this point. And then my other pick was part 1 because it's just boring. Like, I don't care about any of the characters, and it's like, and Pamela Voorhees is cool at the end, but really I just want to watch the end. And then I was thinking part 9, right? Because Jason's not in it, but there's so many good kills that this is like 9 and 8. It's going to be between 9 and 8 in the sense that 9, I don't like this he's a deadite thing. I don't want it to connect to Evil Dead. I don't like that. And I don't want the hidden. It was basically the hidden, right?
Hidden, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't want that. But the kills are so good, and Jason looks awesome. And the beginning of blowing him up was crazy good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with part 8 as well, only because the disappointment factor and the kills are not as good. Jason Goes to Hell, I don't like the story elements, but I mean, at this point it was part 9. They're like, let's just try something else and happens, right? So all right. So best, I'll start with the best. It's very obvious to me. It's part 6, Jason. If you guys aren't saying Jason Lives, I'm super excited to hear why Jason Lives. It's so obvious. That movie has killer cinematography. The music is awesome. Jason is freaking on fire. this was the first and probably only movie, except for Ginny from part 2, who I love. I met that actress. She's awesome in real life. She's awesome in the movie. Except for her and Tommy Jarvis, of course. Well, Tommy's in part 6. This movie had like the best characters that I kind of liked them when I didn't want Megan to die. You know, Court was kind of funny. He was a funny guy with the ripped jeans and all that. I remember their names better. I thought the sheriff was a great character. You know, just him and his daughter were fun. Jason has an arsenal. He's collecting weapons and stuff. I like that. I like having the kids. I like having the basically the Frankenstein monster going to the graveyard and like electrocuting him back, because now he's not the deformed, you know, big huge guy. Now he's a zombie. So now all rules are broken. He's a zombie. He can come back 1,000 times. It's all explained. You don't need to have him turn into a kid at the end. That was lame at part 8. So Jason Lives. I've seen it 4,000 times. Beating Jason at the end, smartest idea. Return him to where he first died in the lake, chain him down. I like that. I think Tommy Jarvis going around trying to figure shit out is cool. Karloff's General Store, Cunningham Road, you know, you know, whatever, Carpenter Town, I don't remember, you know, whatever. All these little in-jokes. To me, it's easily Jason Lives, like, no question. What do you got? Steve, what do you think?
It's actually part 5, Jason, the New Beginning.
Oh my God! Yay! I love part 5.
You know, and I know that people will say, "Well, it's not really Jason," but I like the idea, and I'll talk about this again when we talk about other series. But I love the idea of, and you guys touched on it with Phantasm, of, you know, Mike becoming Tall Man. I like the idea of Tommy becoming the next Jason.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
It's a really interesting idea, because I like the idea, and you see like Jason's ghost. He keeps seeing Jason's ghost around, his specter. I really think that this was one of the most effective Tommy Jarvis. I love the guy who played Tommy Jarvis. I think it was a really effective portrayal of him as this damaged character.
Yep.
Death Valley driving the bully through the table is my single favorite moment in any Jason movie, because it's the overreaction that is beyond belief. Like, I just like, I remember when you showed it to me, Jay, the first time, I literally laughed through it, and you had to rewind because I was still dying.
Yeah, the guy's picking on him, and like Tommy, like friggin' fireman tosses him. You're just like, holy crap. And Tommy made masks. They got rid of that in Jason Lives. That whole angle was gone where he would make masks and stuff.
I like Damaged Tommy the best because it makes sense. And I like the whodunit aspect. I thought that was original and neat. And I like the idea that Jason is no longer, he's superseded the person into the myth. So anyone can be Jason. Like, his evil can continue on in different forms. That's why I actually like part 9 as well. I like the fact that you don't really need the Jason Voorhees character, even though you bring him back. That's cool. You don't need to. You can have it like someone can take up his legacy of evil and use that, like his look, even though it's not the right mask, right? It's got the blue triangles instead of the red. You can use that sort of look to do your own evil acts, right? And your own massacres. So I thought 5 was great. I thought it was a great new direction. If you wanted to stop the Jason Voorhees character and say he was really dead at the end of part 4, but you wanted more Jason movies, this was the perfect launching point to do it. So I think they did it really smart. It was entertaining. And at the end of the day, that's all I want in a Friday the 13th movie.
All right, Sean, what do you think?
Well, I've said this before, to me, best and favorite are 2 different things. So the best is objectively the best is 6, because it's made like a, no offense to the Friday 13th movies, it's made like a real movie. So it's like, and nowadays it looks very familiar because it's very kind of Marvel movie-ish in that, like there's jokes and stuff. Now Jason himself is not made fun of, which is great. But there's a lot of great setups and stuff. It's like it's artfully made. Lots of great transitions and stuff, and clever jokes and things like, you know. So what did you want to be when you grew up? You know, things like that. Right? It's the most entertaining and crowd pleasing of the movies. So yeah, and it was played all the time on TV. Like they edited it, but it was all the time at City and well here where we are like WTV Buffalo 29. But
Yeah, Buffalo.
my favorite is 3. I adore 3, man. It's
Yeah.
like Shelly's the man. Shelly's super annoying, but like he's great. But yeah, I love all the characters in there, and those three a-holes that get picked off one by one.
Yeah.
You know, they go back into the camp there and everything. And I just love all the 3D BS of it. Oh, I love all that stuff. And like I'm disappointed that the new set is only 3D with 3D TVs. Like,
yeah,
who in hell has a 3D TV? Anyway, but so I have my old DVD copy that has the glasses, and I still watch that. I'd like to watch it with less ghosting, but I'm not gonna buy a 3D TV. Well, maybe I will buy a 3D TV just to watch. But yeah, I mean, it's the movie that gave him the mask, and everything fell into place with that film. It's my favorite. I mean, 6 is the best, but I think I've seen it so many times that I'm like, I know what happens now and now. So I can pop in 3 more now, and it's my favorite right now. So
okay, so we can talk a little bit about the series on whole. Basically, 1 through 6 are like pretty solid. Like anyone who picks 1 through 6 as their favorites, like 1, it's number 1. That's 2 has a great final girl. Her dressing up as the mom is genius. It was the first one where like that girl, Ginny, was an actress who's like, she's like, oh, I feel, think about what it must have been like. He saw his mother decapitated, and oh my God. Like,
then Corey Haim takes that same idea in 4, where he was like, where he dresses as the kid, like Jason.
Yeah. Corey Feldman, you mix up your Corys.
Oh God, I always mix up those Corys, man.
you mix up the 2 Corys, that's like punishable by death. Jesus Christ. And then part 3, The Mask, the 3D. Sean, did you see that with me in 3D?
No, I didn't. No.
I saw that in 3D on a replay downtown. Oh, it's great. 3 is a great movie. It's got the axe in the head days, and in Jason in part 5, whenever you see the ghost of Jason, he still has the cut, right?
The cut, yeah.
3 is great, and then 4, if you're looking for like the most generic, like I just like explain to me what is Friday the 13th. That is the one.
Yeah.
Got like nudity and the gore. It was pretty gory. It hasn't been at this point. It hadn't gotten cut to shit. Basically 5 and on, they start like 6 is a kid's movie pretty much. Like like Walking Dead is way worse than Friday 13 part 6.
Yeah.
But part 4, it was still there. There was still some good gore. Part 4 is like the basic Friday movie. It's like, what is Friday 13th? Watch part 4, the final chapter. And then 5's got the cool idea. It's got lots of nudity, which is great. It's got the good kills. Jason, he's all clean in that one, so it looks kind of weird. And then 6 has the zombie Jason. So after that is where you start getting into the, Carrie versus Jason, interesting idea. I hate the end of that where the dad comes up.
Yeah. It's way too long, and I checked it. It's the longest one of those movies. It's like almost 2 hours. It's like an hour and 53 minutes, and you can feel it too. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
I think it's saved by 2 things, though. First of all, the lead girl, the Carrie, Tina, I think her name.
Tina, she's great.
She is fantastic. And conceptually, that is the first super-powered opponent for Jason, which I really like.
Yep.
The other thing is that Kane Hodder's performance as awesome. Jason in this is incredible.
Yes.
Right? It's super. This is Jason, like furious Jason. Like he's actually angry for once. Yeah. He's not a tank just plowing through human beings. He's got an emotion. That's why Kane Hodder to me always was the best Jason.
He is the best.
I will say though, the dad at the end, I think it would have been better if the makeup had been better. He just has like dirt on his face. He's been down there for like how long? He would have been decayed.
Well, the special editions that we just bought must have this because it was supposed to be a skeletal zombified remains.
Yeah.
And they said that the audience wouldn't get what was going on. It's like, well, she's trying to resurrect her father the whole damn movie.
Yeah.
Talk to her dad. Like, what? We wouldn't have figured out that was the dad. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a lame excuse to have bad makeup and have it be very. And actually, there's a shot, I believe, in the finished product where you can kind of see that it doesn't match with the rest.
Yes.
But even if it was zombified guy, that's just lame. But yeah, 7 is saved because Tina's sick. The idea of him fighting, is cool. Jason looks amazing. The face is the best face for me.
Yeah.
When the mask breaks, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then part 8 has the mask back, but the guy brings the mask, but it still has the cut in it. So how did he know that cut was there? But yeah, so okay, if we go 1 to 7, we're pretty happy.
Yeah.
8 is and I love Jason. Jason Goes to Hell is a movie on its own work. Jason Goes to Hell, like, Freddy Part 2, Nightmare 2, what's like Halloween 3.
Yeah.
It's like these movies where they're pretty good movies. Like, you're not gonna fault Halloween 3. It's a great movie, but it just doesn't make sense with the other ones that are there. That's Jason Goes to Hell. You watch Jason Goes to Hell, you're like, this is a great horror movie. Lots of good gore, good deaths. Jason is badass. When he finally reforms, it's cool. They figure out a way to kill him. They kind of tie it in to the other ones. It's like new direction. So it's like wicked movie, but you're like, it's weird, right? Jason X is the best, man. I love Jason X. Jason in Space is awesome. Jason looks great. David Cronenberg. If David Cronenberg is in a movie, that's automatically 10 out of 10. Like Nightbreed. As soon as David Cronenberg, as soon as his face showed up, it's like, well, this movie's 10 out of 10. It could just end.
I remember him being interviewed for some magazine. I think it was Cinescape again or something like that. And he was saying, I play a guy that deserves to die.
David Cronenberg should always survive in every movie.
He only took the movie to die. He only took the movie if he got killed.
Right, yeah, you wanted Jason to kill him or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what about the remake? So, I mean, the remake is weird because it's a remake of the first 3 movies because Jason's mom is in it for like the beginning parts.
Yeah.
Basically, part 1 is the intro.
Yeah.
And then he's got the sack for a while.
Yeah.
And then it goes into Jason mode. I didn't mind the remake because you still had Jason kills. Like the Freddy remake was trash. We can trash that next week or whatever, whenever we trash it. But the Friday remake, I wasn't that against. I know he was running because Jason ran before. Like this zombie Jason who just does, action poses with weapons. That's a CJ Graham Part 6 thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's running. He ran, in the other ones, right?
Yeah.
So I think they should have. Yeah, I think they should have just made a sequel. Like, I don't understand this drive. I think I said this before. I only understand this drive of making an unattached reboot. It's like you instantly take away any excitement or like any interest in the thing. Like, it's good as its own little thing. That's the thing. Everyone's like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But like, it didn't add anything new or exciting to the concept. It's like, just make a sequel. Like, what is the problem? Listen, you guys don't really shell out at Halloween, right? So like,
whatever. I give it to our condo people. They do it.
Yeah, Halloween's really big in my area. So like, I give out candy, and I get like easily 100 kids, probably more. And I'm telling you, like, kids dress up as Jason, and this thing is like a dead franchise. And it's funny, I get at least one Jason a year, and it's usually zombie Jason. I don't know where they're getting the there's like a jacket with like fake rubbery ribs.
We have that for our escape room.
Yeah, and you can get like a mask, that's just a generic hockey mask at these Halloween places, and like a fake machete. One year, a few years ago, I had like 5 Jasons, and the kid next door, he's about 11 now. He was about maybe 8 when he was like really crazy for Jason, and he was ordering the masks online, and he could tell me like which mask belonged to what movie. And I asked his dad, like, is he watching the movies? And he's like, no, I don't show him the movies. He gets it off of YouTube. Like, he watches clips and trailers. but he was really excited for Jason. There's a zeitgeist there. Kids are really into it, and that was not acted upon by the remake. There hasn't been a Jason movie for a long time now, but it's in the air. People love it, and I don't know why. I mean, like, yeah, make your generic reboot thing. I don't know who is this for? I don't know what you're driving at here. I think out of all the horror characters, Jason can have a huge revival, but it needs to be done properly. That's why I don't like the remake. Like, I know, yeah, it's okay. It's okay as a Jason movie, but don't make an okay Jason movie. Make a sequel, tie it to the other movies, and have them going around killing people. People want to watch it, you know?
So I actually, I thought it was a good movie, right? I thought that I liked the characters. I think Derek Mears brought a lot to the role as Jason, and you can tell he loved that to be Jason. Like the physicality he brought sort of was more like a Kane Hodder, where you could see there was a performance there. It wasn't just like, you know, be in this scene, kill. I'm not, and this is no disrespect to any of the Jasons prior to Kane Hodder or afterwards. Like, that is a tough role to play. You got a mask on and you got to do all these stunts. You got to probably be set on fire and take all these spills and falls. It's hard, right? But like, Kane Hodder's performance was amazing. I thought Derek Mears brought that back into the performance a bit. I really liked just how it was set up and everything. But you're right, Sean. Like, you can always tell like how successful a movie is by how soon we get the next one, right? And we haven't had a Friday the 13th since then.
No.
I do believe that the character is iconic. I believe that they will eventually make another Friday the 13th. I think they're just being, you know, they're sitting on it for whatever reason. But I think that you will see another Friday the 13th. And the character is, so here's the thing. I actually posed this question to a coworker this week. I asked him who the greatest writer in English language was. And he said, well, I think it's Shakespeare. I said, well, why do you think it's Shakespeare? He's like, well, you know, he did all this writing and all that, blah, blah. I'm like, no, he's good. But the reason William Shakespeare is considered the greatest writer in English language is because they keep teaching him in school. So you hear about him every year. Every generation hears about him.
Yeah.
So if you stop teaching him in school, is there not a possibility that William Shakespeare's writings, at least some of it, will get lost to time? Because the next generation won't learn about him anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you got kids dressing up as Jason Voorhees, like, that's iconic. That is now transcending the movies. And that means that if there's money to be made, a Hollywood studio will eventually throw money out there and make another Friday the 13th. But to your point, completely agree that if the movie was so good, why haven't we got another one?
Yeah.
I want to point out, we have 5 minutes left, but also I want to point out that you've seen it here first. Jason Voorhees compared with Shakespeare. This is the greatest day in history, where William Shakespeare is being compared with Friday the 13th. So I want to thank Steve for that.
You're welcome.
This is, in all of YouTube, this is the only place where this has ever happened. where the two greatest icons of humanity, William Shakespeare and Jason fucking Voorhees, baby, together. Okay, the thing is that, see, the Child's Play remake pissed on the idea. The Freddy remake changed what it is. Texas Chainsaw Massacre changed it around. They weren't really cannibals. They kind of were, but it was unsaid. This was still basic Jason stuff.
Yeah.
So it can still be, because you can't, are you going to continue from Jason X? Are you going to continue from Freddy versus Jason? Now, this could foreseeably still continue from Freddy versus Jason if you take the first section of the movie and say it happened before Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Then the Freddy versus Jason stuff happened, and then the rest of this movie happened. It's only in the naming and them saying that it's a remake. See, it's like the Freddy we got with what's his face, Rorschach, Earl, whatever.
It's a new thing, yeah.
Yeah, it can't be put anywhere. You can't fake insert that, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
Texas Chainsaw is a mess. That series is a disastrous.
You're ignoring the elephant in the room that he kills the bully from from Transformers. It's the same actor and the same name. So yeah.
Okay. Well,
In the remake, in the Friday 13th remake.
Okay. Yeah. The thing is, it's still Jason. Like, we still got kind of what Friday 13th is. So you can pretend to insert it somewhere in a timeline of like, these Halloween movies are a disastrous mess. They've rebooted it so many times. And yes, this latest Halloween was a success, but really it's the same as part 4. Like, this Halloween movie is part 4 remade, cooler, I suppose. I don't know. Right? Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
But in any case, it's like, so Jason, I don't know what to do with, like, do you just make one? Like, I almost feel like you just make one and make it a generic thing and then let people decide where it fits.
Have you seen the fan made movies?
No.
Like Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow or something like that.
I
haven't seen those, but I saw. I don't really care about movies that aren't feature length, but I'll watch them eventually because I think they're like 50 minutes or something like that.
Yep.
Saw Friday 13th Vengeance, which is feature length. This is like 95 minutes. It's a real movie. Like, for God's sake, it's a real, and it's not like part of the franchise, but it might as well be. I really enjoyed it. I really like that one. I know, like, people would tend they're bringing the dad into it, but the dad doesn't really do much. He's just a kind of a weirdo that's like, a vagrant, right?
Right.
And I like the ending too, and he kills a lot of people, and you could tell it's made by people that really understand and love the franchise. And so it's another Jason kills a bunch of people and looks cool movie. So
I would be willing to check that out. We got 3 minutes. I would be willing to check that out for sure. I saw Jason versus Michael Myers. It's like a short. That is absolutely great. Both characters look amazing in it, and the fight was really nice. Okay, so any final thoughts on? I mean, Friday 13th. I love them all, so whatever. But I don't know. We got to see what they got to do. I want Friday 13th to continue on forever. The next one will be the 13th movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, New Line still owns it, right? Like, I know Platinum Dunes made a movie for New Line.
Yeah.
But I guess New Line still owns.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So any final thought?
Yeah. No, I hope they make more.
Make more. And we want super creative, gory kills, and we want nudity. If you don't have those two things,
R-rated,
I don't want like, part 8 where like it could be on TV right now and like my squeamish wife would be like, oh, this was kind of boring. You know what I mean? Like, right? Like, I need to see some heavy duty gore. At least the remake had nudity and gore. So thumbs up for that. So Shakespeare and Friday 13th, the two greatest historical franchises of literature and cinema.
The next Friday the 13th should be Hamlet.
Yes, that'd be good. All right, guys. I guess that's it then. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.